My father-in-law, Bob, died in October 2021. 3 months later, my husband, Ross, died. And for the first time in years, I had everything I'd been wishing for: time, freedom, quiet, no medical appointments, no dialysis, no 24/7 caregiving. I could breathe, and I couldn't enjoy it. Because the moment relief showed up, guilt showed up right behind it. And if you've ever felt relief after someone died and then felt guilty for that relief, stay with me. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you the exact sentence that helped me stop shrinking under survivor's guilt. And I'll also show you one small expansion step you can take this week if you're trying to rebuild your life after 50. I'm Lynn Weimar. I help ambitious women over 50 refuse to shrink, physically, emotionally, or in who they are, especially when life gets hard. And today we're talking about a kind of shrinking no one warns you about: survivor's guilt, because it can make you feel like living again is disloyal. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why relief is normal, why guilt lies, and how to choose expansion after loss without erasing love. For 9 years, caregiving was a major part of my life. Then Bob, Ross's dad, moved in with us, and for the last several months of Bob's life, caring for him became a 24/7 responsibility. I was doing home dialysis for Ross, caring for Bob around the clock, trying to run a business. I couldn't plan, couldn't travel, couldn't dream. One night, it was 2 a.m. Earlier, I'd done Bob's whole nighttime routine: meds, dentures, pajamas, a warm hug, good night. Then I finished Ross's dialysis, drew the labs, put them in the fridge for pickup. I collapsed into bed. Then 2 a.m. I hear rustling. The living room light turns on, and my stomach drops. Bob thinks it's time to get up. He's fully dressed, except that his shirt is inside out and his Wranglers are on backwards. He walks into our bedroom and says, "Look at this, it's all this internet stuff." He thought because we ordered clothes online, his jeans had no zipper and he couldn't button his shirt. He was frustrated, and Ross laughed. I got up, calmed Bob down, helped him back into bed, and I remember thinking, I don't need a vacation. I don't need a spa day. I need one day where nothing is my problem to solve. I wished for a break, just a break, and then Bob declined too quickly. It never happened. And if life has been trying to shrink you, especially after 50, I made a free 3-day expansion quick start. It's linked below. I'll remind you again later. Bob died October 22nd, 2021. 3 months later, Ross died, January 4th, 2022, and I got everything I'd wished for. I watched the hearse drive away. Then I turned and saw the empty bed in the living room. For years, I'd slept with earplugs because the dialysis machine ran all night, along with a pump from Ross's air mattress. Now I didn't need the earplugs. The house was quiet. I'd wished for quiet, for space, for freedom. I could sleep through the night. I could make plans without wondering if I'd have to cancel. I could breathe, and I couldn't enjoy any of it. That's when the guilt hit. Survivor's guilt is complicated because no one tells you that you might feel relief when someone dies. And when that relief hits, it can feel like a betrayal. How can you be okay when he's gone? How can you enjoy this freedom when it only exists because he died? How can you do the things you couldn't do with him? And every time I listened to that guilt, I got smaller. I couldn't even go into my office. I stayed huddled in bed, doing the motions of work, but not really living. Survivor's guilt wasn't just sadness. It was a command. Don't take up space. Don't want more. Don't move forward. Before I tell you what finally broke that spell, because it is a spell, I made something for you. If life has been trying to shrink you, especially after 50, grab my free 3-day expansion quick start. It's a simple framework plus a 3-day action plan to help you stop shrinking and start expanding again, and the link is below. A few weeks after Ross died, my friend Rhonda knew what I needed. She and I planned a trip to Kauai for a week. It was a memorial trip. Ross had always wanted to go to Hawaii. While I was there, I learned about the tradition of casting a lei into the sea to memorialize someone you love. All week I searched for a fresh lei, but there were none to be had that week. But on the last day, I walked down to the jetty alone. I'd found a flower that had dropped from a bush, still fresh, and I tried to cast it into the ocean as my goodbye, but it kept coming back in. I was laughing and crying at the same time, and that flower coming back felt like permission. Permission to keep going, permission to live, permission to expand without apologizing. And on that trip, I signed up for Ironman Arizona. I didn't finish that race, but signing up was the shift. It was my first real step back into myself. So here's what I want you to hear if you're dealing with survivor's guilt. Number one, relief isn't betrayal. Relief is your nervous system finally exhaling after a long emergency. Feeling relief doesn't mean you loved them less. It means you were carrying a lot. Guilt is not a compass. Guilt feels like morals, but after loss, it often acts like fear. Survivor's guilt doesn't protect love, it punishes survival. Expansion can honor them. You don't honor someone by shrinking, you honor them by living. And for women over 50, especially if you're still working and trying to rebuild your identity, this matters because guilt will tell you, don't want more, don't try, don't start over. But love would never ask you to disappear. If you're in this right now, here's what helped me. 1, pick one small action that moves you forward. Not a whole new life, one step. For me, it was signing up for that race. For you, it could be booking a trip, joining a class, taking a walk with a friend, saying yes to one plan, or reopening one goal you put on a shelf. 2, write down what they would want for you. Not what guilt says, what they would actually want. And 3, don't isolate. Find people who understand loss so you don't have to prove you're okay. And if moving your body is part of your expansion, and for many women it is, start tiny. The point isn't performance. The point is, I'm still here. I got everything I wished for in the worst way, and survivor's guilt tried to shrink me because of it. If you're dealing with survivor's guilt right now, I hope this gives you permission. Permission to feel relief, permission to stop punishing yourself for surviving, permission to honor them by living, not by shrinking. Comment this, just fill in the blank. They would want me to. And if life has been trying to shrink you, especially after 50, grab my free 3-day expansion quick start. It's a simple framework plus a 7-day action plan to help you stop shrinking and start expanding again. And the link is below. And if you want support, come join Be Fit Beyond 50, our free community. I go live every Wednesday. I'm Lynn Weimar. Honor them by living. See you next time.